Are you listening?
Welcome to another episode of the Nerf Report, your go-to source for all the week's gaming news, nerfed into one show once a week, so you can worry less about reading the news and get back to playing those video games. And on this week's episode, PlayStation brings crossplay to a brand new level, Apple announces brand new games coming to the Apple Arcade, Nintendo has revolutionized the fitness industry once again, gamers are choosing video games over sex, and Gamestop has announced the closing of 200 stores? What? Oh no.
Oh, they're still here. Your top headlines.
First up this week, PlayStation, who after 25 years of bringing joy to gamers, 25 years of offering some of the best games of all time, and 25 years of allowing their fans to call their buttons on the controller triangle, circle, square, and X. But this week, PlayStation has had enough, because it's time for a geometrical butt whooping. This week on Twitter, PlayStation UK tweeted triangle, circle, cross, square. If cross is called X, it's not, then what are you calling circle? Damn! PlayStation is like that girl in school who was like, my name is Jessica, with a K, people. Now, as you can imagine, this debate set the internet ablaze, with PlayStation fans, both young and old, making their argument for the X versus cross debate. But PlayStation finally attempted to end the debate forever by holding a poll asking, what do you call it? X, cross, or a plus sign rotated 45 degrees? And with nearly 170,000 votes casted, over 81% of the voters said X, 11% voted plus sign rotated 45 degrees, and 8% voted cross. Next up, Blockbuster. GameStop. This week, during a quarterly earnings call, GameStop updated investors on the company's performance. And if you're hoping for a Cinderella story, well, you might have to wait a couple more weeks for that one. Because during the call, GameStop CFO Jim Bell announced that GameStop was on track to close between 180 to 200 underperforming stores globally by the end of this fiscal year. This announcement adds to the growing concern of GameStop's future, as it was reported that GameStop has already closed 195 stores since the beginning of last year. The call also revealed that GameStop's second quarter reported a 14.3% decrease in sales, or a loss of $32 million. GameStop does, however, still hold out hope that both Microsoft and PlayStation's next-gen consoles will boost sales within the next year. All right, let's talk about Apple Arcade. This week, Apple held another keynote in which they talked about updates for Apple TV, brand new models of the iPhone, along with our final pitch for Apple Arcade. If you weren't aware, Apple Arcade is Apple's new video game subscription service that will include over 100 games. Video games like Exit the Gungeon, Pac-Man Party Royale, Rayman Mini, Overland, and Shantae and the Seven Sirens. The service will include tons of great video games to play with 0 microtransactions, and subscribers will have both online and offline support. Apple Arcade launches on September 19th for $4.99 a month, with the first month being free for all new subscribers. And finally, for our top headlines, Nintendo. This week, Nintendo announced the latest accessory to join the Nintendo Switch lineup. And trust me when I say this, they have truly outdone themselves this time. From the company that brought you Labo and the Wii Fit, This October, get ready for Ring Fit Adventure, a new Nintendo Switch experience that includes a ring con and a leg strap. Simply attach your Joy-Cons to the ring con and the leg strap, and you will be transported into the fantastical world where you will fight enemies and bodybuilding dragons by, well, you probably guessed it by now, using real-life exercises. Man, this is really cool. In fact, now that the cat is out of the bag, I guess I can finally confirm that recently we partnered with Nintendo to make a workout series that was compatible with Ring Fit. And I'm really excited to finally share the very first trailer for that game with you right now. Hi, I'm Brian Chappelle, and thanks to Body by Fit Ring and Nintendo, I'm in the best shape of my life, and you can be too. Together with some of the top Fit Ring instructors in the world, we'll teach you over 100 different workouts. Steer, and grab that Koopa and toss it. Body by Fit Ring isn't your typical workout. We've combined some of gaming's most epic moments to make the ultimate workout experience. Run and leap and get that box. Falcon Punch, Falcon Punch, Falcon Punch. Teabag your enemy. Yeah, unleash your inner resonator. Take it from me. Just 3 weeks with the Body by Fit Ring, and it'll turn you from looking like this to this. Look at all those abs. Body by Fit Ring not only includes over 100 insane workouts, but if you order right now, we'll also throw in 1 case of toadstool mushroom powder for the ultimate pre-workout meal. What? That's insane! You're telling me for $79.99, not only do I get the Body by Fit Ring, but you're also gonna give me toadstool mushroom pre-workout? What are you waiting for? Order yours today. Dear Nintendo, please don't sue us. Well, that's going to wrap up this week's top headlines. So, without further ado, let's jump into this week's top story with the rundown.
Now for something completely different. Yeah.
Sex! And now that I have your attention, video games!
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Fellow gamers, we need to talk. Because according to the Washington Post, gamers would rather play video games than have sex. And that's just crazy. According to the Washington Post, the latest general social survey reported that in 2018, America reached an all-time high of adults not having sex. And even more interesting, the number of Americans 18 to 29 years old not having sex more than doubled. In 2008, over 8% of 18 to 29-year-olds reported not having sex. But in 2018, that number rose to 23%, with 28% of men 18 to 30 reporting that they haven't had sex in the past year. Whoa! Last week, Noob Crusher 69 beat me in Apex Legends, and he told me that he has all the sex. Are you telling me that he's lying? Well, Professor of Psychology Gene Twenge says that these numbers could be caused by many things. A decline in young men joining the workforce, the increase of 18 to 30-year-olds still living at home with their parents, streaming Netflix, or even video games. PlayStation, I trusted you, but you were preventing me from getting laid this entire time? Worst wingman ever. Professor Twenge continued by saying, there are a lot more things to do at 10 o'clock at night now than there were 20 years ago. Streaming video, social media, console games, everything else. Wait, so people really aren't having sex because gaming fulfills boredom? And 20 years ago, people were screwing every time that they got bored? First up, somebody give me a time machine. Second, I get the importance of crossplay, but if it's really preventing us from experiencing real crossplay, maybe we should cut back the gaming. I mean, in a way, it makes sense. Like, if you're bored, playing video games is way safer than having sex. No one has ever gotten pregnant because of playing a video game. Unless you're really into Tetris or something. But honestly, if you are spending all of your free time playing video games, chances are you're not out there trying to attract potential partners. Well, duh. Have you ever played Minecraft? And World of Warcraft? Don't even get me started. I could spend hours every day playing those video games. Well, it's funny you say that. A study by economists from Princeton, University of Rochester, and the University of Chicago recently stated that employed men, 21 to 30, on average spend 3.2 hours a week playing video games, whereas unemployed men spend 8.6 hours a week playing video games. 8.6 hours. Psst, those are some rookie numbers right there. I spend 8 hours a week managing my inventory alone. Now, that same study states that 12.3% of men play video games on a typical day. And for women, that number is around 10.3%. And those statistics become alarming when you think about the breakdown of a normal 24 hours. 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work. At that point, you're only left with 8 hours. And with that remaining 8 hours, let's take out commuting to work, eating meals, getting ready in the morning, using the restroom, watching dog videos on Twitter, and by that time, if we're lucky, we might have 4 hours of free time left every day. And let's just say that the typical gaming session lasts 1 hour, which honestly would be extremely conservative. That equates to 25% of your free time. So I can start to see that if, playing video games is going to take up that much of my free time, yeah, it's going to prevent a gamer from having sex. And I guess where I want to leave this is by saying, just because of all these statistics, don't suddenly feel pressured to go out and have sex. Instead, just pay closer attention to how you are spending your time. Video games are great, but interacting with other people and experiencing what the world has to offer can oftentimes be so much better. And finally, for this week, we come to that noise, of course, signifies that we are running out of time and coming close to the end of the show. So, in order to cover all the week's remaining news, we must initiate a segment that I like to call Every single week, we have so much news to talk about and so little time to do it. So we take all the week's remaining news, put 60 seconds on the clock, and try to cover it as fast as humanly possible without running out of breath, passing out, or dying! So with that in mind, let's put 60 seconds on the clock for the noise! And go! Destiny 2 officially turned 5 years old this week. Happy birthday to everyone who has worked on that game. Avengers, the video game, is getting comics released prior to its release. Neo 2 has a release date of 2020. Paladins finally has real crossplay, including PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PC. Last of Us 2 has a media day coming up at the end of the month, so you can fully expect that we might get an announcement of a release date. Capcom gave us our first look at the new Resident Evil game, Project Resistance. The Witcher TV show will be releasing on Netflix December 17th of 2019. Dauntless is finally leaving early access. The Video Game Awards will be taking place this year on December 12th, and I think it's safe to say the Nerf Report got snubbed this year. Yep. Always have next year, but we got snubbed this year. And finally, the Amnesia Collection is coming to the Nintendo Switch this year. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Nerfed in 60 Seconds, and that is it for this week's episode of the show. If you like what you saw, you want to see more content just like it, hit that like button and please subscribe to the channel. And while you're doing all of that, maybe post on Twitter, share it on Facebook, tell your grandma, because grandmas love me. As always, my name is Brian Chappelle. You are you, and this has been the Nerf Report. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks so much for checking out our channel. And because you've waited this long, congratulations! You've won the ability to subscribe to our channel. go ahead, click the button right here. Doesn't cost you anything, and if you do hit the subscription, you might win something, making me happy.